Win together.
Okay, here we go. It is the Candy Tuskers versus the Colombo Kings to get off the near bottom of the table. And the Colombo Kings, well, they are fresh from that really good performance last time around against the Jaffna Stallions. Now, the Tuskers won the toss and they elected to bat first, which was perhaps just a little bit surprised because there is going to be a little bit of dew out there a little bit later. We had a look at the Tuskers side, and there are 3 changes for the Tuskers side. The big news, of course, is that there is a Farm Patan back in the lineup, which is good to see. And Mbudini is in the line also, and Vishwa Fernando is in. Prasanna is gone. Navino Huck has also been left out, and also Kamindu Mendes. So they're the 3 changes. Gabaz and Pereira at the start are always going to be interesting. And for the Colombo Kings, they are unchanged. Chandamal played so well in the last game. Evans has been providing some very good support as well. Of course, Andre Russell has been absolutely dominant with the bat. And the likes of Chimera and also Case Ahmed, very handy with the ball, and Udana. So it's a strong lineup, the Colombo Kings. And this will be an interesting game, that's for sure. Mickey Arthur and Nishan Abasinger alongside.
Hazy, good evening Mickey, and good evening everybody tuning into us, whatever time zone you may be. We got the umpires coming out. They go through this just formalities of making sure that they're well sanitized. And some big guns. Ray Russell and Andre Russell, as they call it.
He looks tense, doesn't he?
He looks very tensed. He looks cool. Just so cool.
Let's not forget that the previous match was the very first one that was played in the Lanka Premier League. And that was the tied game, went to the super over. And of course it was a game that the Tuskers got on the wrong side of. So the Colombo Kings got up and won that in the super over. But 219 played 219, Mickey, that was full of action.
That was full of action, the game that kick-started the tournament for us. I'm really looking forward to this game tonight. No Dale Steyn yet for the Candy Tuskers. He must be very close to coming out of quarantine. I just heard Dale Steyn will be in next game. I just heard Dale Steyn in for the next game. Colombo Kings unchanged, they found their mojo. Candy Tuskers, I'm really happy with the changes there. I'm really looking forward to seeing Vichy Fernando tonight. I'm sure he'll get the ball to swing. And I'm also really looking forward to watching Lasli Mbudini bowl.
The Tuskers will breathe, or the Candy Tuskers will breathe a little bit easy because Gall Gladiators are still without a win. Don't forget, it's the first 4 teams, or the 1, 2, 3, 4 go into the semi-finals. The last team gets left out. So Gall Gladiators, as long as the Gall Gladiators don't win, the Tuskers are fine because they got to win.
They played in the last game. Did you think they were going to win though, Rashawn? The Gall Gladiators, did you think they were going to get up?
Well, I always thought so, but there were some areas that baffled me. One thing was the fielding and the bowling, and what I really couldn't come to grips with was the last 5 overs in the Gall Gladiators innings. They were so well placed, and then how did they throw it away, or how did they lose it?
Righto, here we go, the Tuskers. So both the captains were happy. The tournament really nicely with a quick fire 53 as a youngster. But I think we've all been talking about the fact he just needs to be a little bit more selective maybe. That's something that will just help his cricket, and he'll learn from that. Of course, with Pereira, we haven't seen the best of yet. He's played some handy knocks, but he's one of those guys that can really dominate out in the middle. And he did say at the toss that he wants to see his team's catching improve, and that was certainly something that let them down in the first encounter against the Colombo Kings. Angelo Matthews, season campaigner, very keen. He was out there nice and early today. He was getting ready and having a lot of chats to some of his teammates, and he was doing lots of that, smiling and nice and relaxed.
He is nice and relaxed. I think he found some rhythm with his batting in the previous game, and he bowled very, very well.
As an all-rounder, when you got both your games going well, now Matthews started to bowl, so that confidence also will start rubbing off on his batting. There was a time that he just played as a batsman. I do remember during his start how well he bowled. He had a 6-wicket haul, if I'm not mistaken, in a World T20 game. He opened the bowling, and he's been a very handy cricketer. And an area that the Sri Lankans have missed a lot is the fact that Angelo Matthews stopped bowling. I mean, he could have given so much of balance. Right, so that will continue on. Matthews, if he had bowled Mickey, there would have been so much of balance, and the combination would have been that much easier.
Here we go. First ball of the second game today. Oh, there's some lovely movement from the skipper.
He may be gentle in pace, but he can certainly do a thing or two with that ball.
Yeah, he bowls a heavy ball, and when I mean for the people listening out there, a heavy ball, he's got the knack of hitting the bat right at the top. He splices a lot of the batsmen because of his wrist.
He also finds the seam regularly. He hits the seam regularly, which is good. That's the experience he carries.
Oh, that's been picked up, and that's not a bad way to kick off your account. 6 runs to start in emphatic style.
Gurbaz. That's what he could do. Such an exciting prospect. 6 number 172 on the pads. In fact, it was more straight on the off stump. Whipped it over mid-wicket.
Yeah, he just picked it up on length. Good to see the reaction here from Angelo.
The track is a good one, we know that. It's going to come on nicely as a sweeper out there, so it should... Oh, my goodness. That's an unforced error. That's not going to bring a smile to the captain.
Well, it won't bring a smile on anyone's face. It's terrible. The fielding, the ground fielding has been just poor. That's been consistently maintained by almost every team. It's just been awful.
So 10 runs off the first 3 balls of the game. A slip in position. Big single, shot to stumps. Desperate dive in. That would have been tight, direct hit, but it wasn't.
I think he would have been out if it was a direct hit.
Yeah, I think he would have been out there. That would have been disaster for Kusal. Let's have a look. Out. If that ball's hit the stumps, out. I think it was Daniel Bell Drummond with the throw.
Yeah, what does that look like? Thanks, partner.
Had his heart in his mouth, I'm sure. He did breathe a sigh of relief, that look on his face as he just stood up after that dive. But a good start for the Candy Tuskers, 11 of 4. He's moving it both ways. Got the outswinger going to the right-hander. I was getting it go. The outswinger going to the left-hander as well.
Yeah, went across on the angle. Very well bowled, Angelo. Come on, close your over out now, the coach will be saying in the dressing room.
So it's a pretty tidy comeback after the first 3 balls. Got pace at a bit, length and no loss.
Center wicket.
Candy Tuskers won the toss and elected to bat first. There's all the sides that have been selected. 3 changes for the Candy Tuskers. Colombo Kings unchanged. Says something about a side when they're unchanged. So they're all fit and feeling good after their last victory against the Stallions. It's going to be a wide. O'Donnell.
Interesting inclusion, Lassie Turnbull. They had just one left-hander, I think, in the Colombo side, Colombo Kings side. That's Thickshiller De Silva. So he'll enjoy bowling to the right-handers. But we've spoken a lot about the dew. See, that's going to be the challenge, because spinners would naturally struggle. They'll struggle to spin the ball. They won't get anything out of it.
Now there's some movement. Back in towards the right-hander Gurbaz.
We do know that Isuru Udana's got all the tricks, but he also can bowl a quick delivery when he wants to. His effort ball is up in the mid-130s, which is enough to challenge the batsman with his pace as well. He bowls a good bouncer. That one just coming back, slicing Gurbaz in two.
Down the track, forcing over the top. One bounce. He's on a charge today.
He looked very impressive throughout the tournament, Gurbaz. That was definitely a mile 11 circle champion shot. Look how far down he goes and hits it through the line over mid-on circle. He's been impressive. He's been very aggressive at the top. He's not been afraid to take on the bowlers, and he's come off.
Yeah, scores a 53 top and also 30 in the second game. Then it fell away a little bit. Oh, sends his captain back. Now, had that lit up the stumps, that would have been out as well. There's issues here.
Yeah, one's calling in Sinhalese and one's calling in Pustu, I think.
Kusal running for his life. He was gone. He was gone. He was almost not in the frame. It's his day. He survived twice. He needs to make full use of it. Grab it with both hands now.
Oh my goodness gracious me. They are flashing with the bats behind the crease. There's some scrambling going on, that's for sure.
What are they up to? As you say, I think the communication, Pashtun and Sinhalese.
That's exactly what it is. I tell you one thing though, that this is an exciting opening batting combination, not least for their running between wickets. But Gurbaz gives it a whack, doesn't he? Anything that comes into his area, he whacks it, and Kusal Janat, he doesn't hold back either.
I wonder if O'Donnell hadn't fumbled that. If he hadn't fumbled that the first time, yeah, I think that might be what he's saying there. If he hadn't fumbled it and it was a clean pick up and throw, he might have been half a chance. Ace off that one. Now they almost collided this time.
Did you say exciting, Mickey? Exciting for many reasons, not just the batting.
Isuru Udana changing his pace up there. Such an experienced bowler. He knows when to use his variation and when not to.
He's now really turning out to be an absolute T20 specialist. He's been sought by many leagues around the world. He's also forming a very important part in the Sri Lankan lineup.
Hard down the ground. Now that's the extra ball he had to bowl because of the wide first up. So he got punished with the extra delivery. 10 from it, 21 for no loss. There's a nice look about the next two. Chris Mendes and also Brendan Taylor. Two solid, dependable batsmen. A couple of guys who can win matches in their own.
On the subject of Kusal Mendes, as Mickey is with us, Kusal has opened the batting. And he's been quite reasonable as an opener. Has it ever occurred to you to look at Kusal as an opener in the T20 format? I mean, Kusal Mendes.
Yeah, no, not at the moment. His role for us is in the middle. You want your batsmen that can hit gaps, that can run hard, hit the boundary when needed. You want them batting in the middle for you. That's his role for us at the moment.
Chamira now. It's rushed onto him. Good line first up. Couldn't do too much with that. Negressa's batsman is tucked up and that'll get him thinking.
This is the last ball. Kusal Pereira punched down the ground. Perfect. Just hitting through the line and through mid-on. Timing perfect.
You talk matchups. This is a perfect matchup. The extra pace of Chamira to Gurbaz.
Noticeable that mid-off and mid-on are also on the edge of the circle. In case you don't. Leg bite.
One thing is about this player's performance, particularly likes Chamira, who's done very well, it appears to be rubbing off on them. You talk to them, just discuss how much they're enjoying themselves, and you could see the body language, the way they express themselves. They sound confident, they sound very happy, they're willing to go out.